Hey folks, my name's Ed Trevors. My pronouns are he, him, and his. I'm an Anglican priest serving in the beautiful parish of St. Margaret of Scotland that sits on the ancestral and on the unceded territory of the Mi'kmaq people. Gwe. Today I wanted to talk about forgiveness. Now listen, I understand forgiveness isn't something that just happens, it's something that we have to practice. It's a verb. Forgiveness isn't something that we can just give. The day after somebody hurts me, the day after somebody violates me, the day after somebody seeks to destroy me, I can't just simply say, I forgive you. It just doesn't work that way. There's a plethora of variables at play whenever we're harmed, whenever we're injured, whenever we have an encounter that we are then required to forgive somebody for. There are so many variables. When I sit with clients and they'll come to me and say, well, I feel guilty that I can't forgive, the very first thing I do is get rid of that guilt. There is no reason for you to feel guilty because you can't forgive. There are many factors at play that keep us from truly experiencing the forgiveness we often want to offer people. And we don't feel like we can. Forgiveness is a daily practice. It is something we are going to do just about every day until we're kind of beyond the initial pain, beyond the initial suffering. And then even after that, we're still going to be triggered by certain events that's going to bring all that stuff back up. And we have to forgive all over again. Forgiveness is hard work. It is very, very worthwhile work, though. And today, that's what I want to offer you. I want to offer you a reason to practice forgiveness. It comes from a book that we recently read in our online book study, a book called Patched Together, A Story of My Story, written by a fellow named Brennan Manning. Now, Brennan Manning he's passed on since writing this book, but he's a pretty great author. He wrote a book called Abba's Child, which is wonderful. He wrote a book called The Ragamuffins Gospel, with I just can't say enough about. He wrote a book called The Importance of Being Foolish, How to Live Like Jesus, I believe is what it's called. He's phenomenal. He's a wonderfully, spiritually, yet passionately active author. He calls us to apply our faith to our lives and our relationships. Anyway, in this book, Patched Together, the book's about a guy named Willie Wan. Now, it starts off, Willie Wan's a little kid. And by the way, I hope I'm not spoiling the book for anybody. But Willie Wan, when he's a little kid, he's living in a small village in Mexico with his grandmother. His parents aren't around. His parents have passed on. His dad, I believe, was Irish. And so Willie Wan, growing up in a small Mexican village, has a big head of bright red hair. He's also a sickly child, and he has some disabilities. Now, because of these things, he is the favorite target of the town bully, another kid named Tino. And Tino uses his words, and he uses his fists, and he uses his power to make Willie Wan's childhood a nightmare. As time goes on, Willie Wan leaves the village. He goes off into the world to seek his fortune. And out in the world, he becomes a world-famous artist, first as a sculptor and then as a musician. But the time comes for Willie Wan to come home. And when he's coming home, the town, they decide they're going to throw him a big party because he's the most famous person from their town. So they gather and they do all this. They have this great big party all planned. But the bus that Willie Wan is on, it breaks down. And he's not able to get back to the village in time for the party. That's where I pick up here. He's arrived. He's sitting around waiting for something after getting off the bus. Within minutes, he heard the soft clop of hooves, probably a donkey's. As they grew closer, a voice spoke. Willie Wan, the people wanted to welcome you home, but it grew too late. I volunteered to stay and watch for your bus. I'll be happy to guide you home. Willie Wan felt he recognized the voice. Tino, is that you? Yes, Willie Wan. I wanted to be one of the first people to greet you. I heard you play in Mexico City at Christmas. It was beautiful. I want to apologize for the way I treated you when we were boys. I was so unkind to you. I am so very sorry. Will you please forgive me? Tino, I forgave you a long time ago. I can still remember, but it doesn't hurt me anymore. I can still remember, but it doesn't hurt me anymore. This is why we practice to forgive. This is why we put all that excruciatingly hard work into practicing forgiving people that have hurt us. The memories don't ever fade. The memories don't go away. We will remember what has been done. We will remember what has been said. But the goal, the hope, the vision of what forgiveness is that those memories don't hurt us. Those memories don't make us relive the moments over and over and over again. Those memories don't make us re-experience the pain and the suffering and the turmoil that those people have caused us. I still remember, but it doesn't hurt anymore. I still remember what you said, but it doesn't hurt me anymore. I still remember what you did, but it doesn't hurt me anymore. I still remember how you acted, but it doesn't hurt me anymore. I still remember the pain you caused me, but I don't feel that pain anymore. Forgiveness isn't something that just happens. It's not something that we can just give out. It's one of the, when you read the New Testament and you hear Jesus talk about forgiveness, and, Peter comes from, how many times should I forgive my brother that has sinned against me? 7 times, Jesus tells him. Infinity, we should always be forgiving people. But it's not as simple as simply saying, that's it. I forgive you, and I forgive you, and I forgive you, and you get some forgiveness, and they get some forgiveness, and everything is just hunky-dory. As I said, there are too many factors at play. There are too many other experiences at play. There are too many thoughts. There is too much damage. We have to heal. We have to become strong again. We have to remember who we are. We have to remember who they are. We have to take that moment and we have to see it as it truly happened and not necessarily as other memories painted or experiences that happen after paint that moment. Forgiveness takes a lot of work. When Jesus tells us, yes, we should forgive, I don't believe he was wrong. I just don't believe that we take those words to mean I should always be forgiving. I should always be practicing forgiveness in whatever capacity I can. Sometimes I can make leaps and bounds in my forgiveness. Sometimes I can't even get to the place that I can look at the person right away. It takes a little while just to get there. I can't be in the same room. It takes a little while just to get there. I can't pass their house on a dark night with nobody home without being triggered by what they've done. I can't even get to that place. Forgiveness is a lot of work. And it's a lot of work done by the person who was harmed. But it's worthwhile work. Because if we practice it, we get better at it, we get stronger at it, we were able to move a little bit closer and closer and closer to the moment where we can say, I forgave you a long time ago. I still remember, but it doesn't hurt anymore. Forgiveness, as I've said in previous videos, forgiveness is for the person who has been injured. It is It is something that benefits primarily the person who has been injured. Because by practicing forgiveness, by moving closer and closer and closer to the place where we can honestly and authentically and sincerely say, I still remember, but it doesn't hurt anymore, we begin to experience the freedom. Freedom from all the baggage, all those powerful negative emotions that get attached to the memories because of what those people have done, because of what those people have said, because what has transpired. I still remember, but it doesn't hurt me anymore. I am free from the pain. I am free from the emotional pain, from the emotional baggage that I have been carrying all this time because of what happened. I forgave you a long time ago. I still remember, but it doesn't hurt anymore. May the Lord bless you. May the Lord keep you. May the Lord's face be made to shine upon you and be gracious to you. May the Lord's countenance be lifted up to you. May you always know the peace of being in the Lord's presence. And I pray that we together will endeavor to practice forgiveness so that we might someday, through hard work and diligence and perseverance, that we may be able to say these words or words similar to it. I remember, but it doesn't hurt me anymore. Amen. Nemultus.